sometimes you just have to accept the fact that a film really is one of those check your brain at the door films, and that's okay because the film doesn't make any sense at all and is stupid and entertaining. And that's what we got here. I know that stupid seems like a compliment here, and maybe it is and maybe it isn't. Because I just said stupid and entertaining, and those feel like contradictory. But let's find out what I thought. Hi, I'm Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is a review of Jolt. For those new to the channel who haven't seen my face before, I'm a blind film critic, so I don't even know if my face is on the screen. So Jolt was an interesting experience, and we're going to talk about that audio description because wowza. That's all I got to say about that. That's my review. I give letter grades for the film. I'm just going to start giving sound effects for audio description. Wowza. That was some audio description there. Thanks, Millennium Films or Amazon or whichever one of you decided to put audio description on Jolt. That was an experience. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about Jolt. So Jolt is a film. It's a film. It's a film about a woman who gets really angry and psychotic, and so she has to wear a shock vest so that she can calm herself down. She electrocutes herself so that she doesn't go crazy and just start beating the crap out of people and kill them. Like I said, no basis in reality, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. She sees a therapist. The woman is played by Kate Beckinsale, so it's great to see her back in action films. She's a therapist, doctor played by Stanley Tucci, who has helped her devise this system that works for her. She's a bouncer because she's obviously, I guess, learned how to be tough. She's definitely not a shrinking violet in this situation. She meets a guy, Justin, who's played by Jai Courtney, and the two hit it off, and he seems to accept her for who she is, and she's of course worried about killing him, by her special powers, I guess, by going too far and not being able to restrain herself. So she's worried about that. But then he goes and gets killed anyway, and it sets her on a vengeance streak where she's trying to take down this crime syndicate, which is, I guess, headed by this guy played by David Bradley. And that was nice to see that pop up. It was like, wow, he's in a film. Cool. It doesn't do much, but that was an interesting casting choice. We've also got two cops following her around, played by Bobby Cannavale and Laverne Cox, who definitely need their own TV show, because these two and their rapport, I would watch that. I would watch a Bobby Cannavale, Laverne Cox cop show in a heartbeat. This film is really fun. I don't know why it has like a 5 point something on IMDb. I don't know if it was just watched by like a bunch of film snobs who only watch films like The Power of the Dog and Nomadland, and then they clicked on Jolt by accident, and they were all like, "Oh, what is this film? I don't understand. It just has no purpose." And it's like, yeah, this film has no purpose. That is its purpose. Its purpose is it's fundamentally stupid, and it's okay because it knows it's stupid. It's not trying to convince you that this is like a work of brilliance. It knows that, it knows that you're gonna like think of something like Crank, and you're like, oh, she's having to shock herself, and we've been here before. And its charm is in the batshit crazy stuff that happens in this film. There's a fight scene where they throw babies. Um, there's this hilarious moment where this henchman goes up to the top boss and he describes he's just encountered Kate Beckinsale for the first time, and he describes her. I can't remember the exact adjective. It was something like, he's like, well, I just had a run in with an interesting woman. Mind you, his boss was like being hung from the ceiling by chains. Like literally, you get the description that like he walks into the room and there's an old naked man being hung by chains, and he thinks Kate Beckinsale was weird. And I was just like, what is going on? Why is there a naked man being hung from the ceiling by chains? And it's not like a torture thing. He's not being questioned or anything. That is like it's just what he's doing. Like, that's what the crime boss does in this film. It is so, it is so insanely weird and hilarious that I cannot, I can't fault it. And then, like, at the end, I swear to God, this movie that I don't think anybody's heard of, that I'm fairly certain went straight to streaming. I don't know what happened to this film. It should have been in theaters. Fuck you, movie theaters, for not putting this in theaters. Audiences deserve to see Jolt. This is hilarious. But it literally ends with the kind of ending that you get when you know you've got like a sequel coming, when you feel so confident that this film knocked it out of the park, that there will be a sequel. So like they introduce a character out of nowhere, like just to set up the sequel. Susan Sarandon just comes in like right at the end, and she just sets up the sequel. She's like, all right, so now that happened, on to the next mission. And you're like, oh my God, you think there's going to be a Jolt 2? I would love a Jolt 2. But like, where's the audience for this? I think this is just like a random thing that people are clicking on Amazon. I would watch Jolt 2 the day it came out, now that I've seen Jolt 1. I, like, immediately, if not sooner. I loved this film for its wacky bullshit stupidity. For everything that it is, it is such a dumb film, but it's so fun in its dumbness. Kate Beckinsale, it was so nice to see her back in an action film. She just did that shitty Paramount Plus series Guilty Party. That thing was, God, that was terrible. I'm glad it's not coming back for a second season. It was so nice to see her back and she's so good in this role, and it reminds you of everything that you loved about Underworld before they made like 18 sequels to it and just beat that thing to death. And she's great, and I like the cast here. I even liked Jai Courtney, and I don't normally like Jai Courtney. I'm gonna admit that as like a personal preference thing. He's somebody that I keep looking at Hollywood and I go, why are you trying to make this dude happen? You know, like, I actually think he makes films worse sometimes. I think, like, he definitely made A Good Day to Die Hard worse. Like, that was a thing. Not that that was a good movie, nor should it have ever been made, but to try to say that Jai Courtney has remotely the same sort of personality that Bruce Willis does was just a total mischaracterization and judgment on that part. But anyway, I'm not even a fan of Jai Courtney, and I like Jai Courtney in this film. But yeah, I loved everybody. I loved the entire cast. I loved how insane this film was. But the audio description, we gotta go over to my wowza grade for that, because what in the holy fresh shit hell, who the fuck made this audio description? Who? I will find you. Liam Neeson has a particular set of skills that he's acquired over generations, and he will find you. Who made this audio description. No one wants to claim this. This is another one. Every time I watch a thing on Amazon nowadays, it's like there's never, I have to sit all the way through the credits. And no, nobody ever claims it anymore. Nobody's ever like, yes, this was the company that made the audio description. So I have to go search for it and try to figure out who made this audio description. This audio description is hands down one of the worst audio descriptions. Like the first part of the film is like banging your head against the wall. Fucking terrible. I'm sorry if if you weren't expecting a lot of cursing, but it's narrated, right? Kate Beckinsale talks, and then you have the audio description, and I shit you not, they're talking at the same time. And like nobody ever put any thought or anything into the fact. And they're both like female voices. I'm pretty certain this is a robo description. I don't think this does not sound human enough. This sounds like the same narration I had for The Terminator, which was also terrible audio description. However, I will give this a pass and say it's balanced slightly better. It doesn't quite take out the sound like The Terminator did, where the audio description track was so much louder than the film that it just drowned everything out. It does not quite do that. But it does, wow, oh my God, talk right on top, like two people talking at the same time. And I'm like, did you not even bother to go back through and like look at where the audio description would lay? Somebody just made the audio description and they just like slapped it on the film and they were like, yep, that's good. Move on to the next project. Like, fuck you. You can't even understand what's going on. It's two people talking simultaneously. It's like, what is... It's because it's not even like a little bit. It's not like you're missing like little parts of dialogue where somebody's like saying like run. No, like she's legitimately, Kate Beckinsale is legitimately having like a long talk, and then like underneath it is like audio description, and it's really difficult to follow. And then later on in the film, the description is good. It's good in a way that it manages to get through all the fight sequences, right? But then it gets to this fight sequence. There's a scene, this is kind of, I don't know, slightly spoilery, where Kate Beckinsale goes, I'll just say she visits Bobby Cannavale. And he's in a position where, you know, he doesn't want to fight her. I guess they're trying to play up like a potential romantic thing between the two of them. And, but like his partner, Laverne Cox, is like, but I'll fight you. And, no audio description, like nothing, fucking dead silence. I swear to God, like it's like the person doing audio description fell asleep while writing audio description and didn't do anything. So you can hear like punches and kicking and like that kind of like combat sequence. And for some reason, this fight sequence has no audio description to it. None. It just, until they move into the room with the baby throwing, then finally they're like, we got babies, and they need to know that they're being thrown around. So like it drops out for like a full minute. It just, nope, not going to tell you what's happening. And I was like, what's going on with this audio description? And then at the end of the film, it like selectively chooses what it wants to audio describe in the credits. And in some ways, it's actually really cool because I think like blind people don't get enough audio description of the credits. Sometimes like the audio description just drops out. Nobody ever reads the credits. So I got to find out like who Kate Beckinsale's driver was. And that's fine. And I learned that the film was shot in Bulgaria and stuff like that is interesting. But it also didn't describe the rest of the cast. So it actually just described a whole bunch of below the line people. So it reads the first part, like I guess you could call the above the line cast, the names, the big names, and like the director and the producers and all that. And then it cuts out. And from having been able to see, I always know that the cast, the rest of the cast, all the smaller roles, like that stuff is listed first, like who played what role, you know, Kate Beckinsale as blank, Stanley Tucci as blank, you know, it goes through that. And it didn't do that. It skipped over that. And then like suddenly it just starts listing below the line people in the most randomness of, and it's missing because I know like more people worked on the film than what's describing. So it's very interesting to hear what they chose. Like we got the drivers, but like nobody had assistants in this film, because typically stars have assistants also. So somebody thought it was really important for us to know who was driving all these celebrities around, but nobody had an assistant. Sometimes somebody even as big as Kate Beckinsale will have their own like personal hairstylist. Like when you see these things, they really do. The bigger the name, the more people are personally attached to them. I guess they all just had drivers. I feel like that's probably not a thing. I can't see, so I can't tell you that. But I'm going to guess that they had more than just drivers. So, very interesting. And I said my grade for this audio description is wowza. Because I don't know what else to say. It was a bit all over the place. But the film is also hilariously all over the place. So maybe that's somewhat appropriate. I don't know. To have audio description that's batshit crazy on top of a film that's batshit crazy. So, Jolt is mostly you can follow it. You're going to be pissed off and annoyed as a blind and visually impaired individual. I promise you the first 10 minutes of this, you're going to be screaming at your TV. You're going to be like, what in the fuck is going on? Because the audio description is talking at the same time as Kate Beckinsale. She narrates less as the movie progresses because she's explained her situation and her backstory. So she doesn't need to do that as much. You don't hear her inner thoughts as much. She does do that throughout the film, but it does back off. So just trust. I know it's frustrating and I'm sorry. I didn't do the narration for this film. I can't control that. All I can do is warn you about it. And all I can do is put this out there in the world for audio description narrators and say, do not do this. Watch the audio description to Jolt. This should never be replicated. Audio description for Jolt is not good. Thumbs down. I know we need audio description on everything, but this is like building stairs to a 3-story house, but only building it to the second floor. Cool. So we can get to the second. How do we get to the third floor? Just because you've built you can't just build a wheelchair ramp to nowhere and be like, I built you accessibility. And it's where does it go? You actually, the accessibility has to actually be purposeful and good in order for it to work and be worth a celebration and a pat on the back and a good job and a thanks. Thanks for the good audio description. I can't thank anybody for this. I would like to definitely thank the people who made Jolt, though, because I think I would have enjoyed this film either way, if I could see or if I could not see. I just thought it was hilarious. I thought this film was all over the place in the most entertaining way possible. I can't, as much as I would love to just flat out give this an A or an A-, I realize inherently it's not a good film. So, but its entertainment quality was really high. There are some things that I liked about it that I shouldn't have liked about it. So the highest I'm willing to go here is a B+, out of sheer enjoyment. I know, I can see some reasons why some people would not, why they would turn their nose up because they've watched just too many just films of a certain genre and art house, and they just turn their nose up at films like this and they can't enjoy stupid fun movies anymore. But this is one of those stupid fun movies. If you liked Crank, you'll probably love the shit out of this. So that's my review of Jolt. B+. Check it out. I thought it was fun. Audio description be damned. It's on Amazon. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should I be giving grades like wowza to audio description from now on? And don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends. And if you want more reviews from me, you can always head over to macmovieguy.com and check that out. And you can find out more titles that are audio described by checking out the Audio Description Project. And until next time, man, I really... If there is a poll being taken about should we make Jolt 2, I'm a yes. I'm a yes for that. I might be the only one, but I vote yes. I would also totally want a Bobby Cannavale, Laverne Cox show from now on, where they're like buddy cop film, TV show, something. We need to reteam the two of them. They were highly entertaining together. I enjoyed it. Love those two. Anyway, that's it. Let's see if Jolt 2 happens. Until then.